Good morning. Well, I say good morning because it's good morning for me, but good morning, good day, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. I'm saying good morning because I am drinking my cup of coffee for the morning. So, today we are going to get started on my October TBR. Now, I know we're a little bit into October, but better late than never, okay? So, this month we're going to do things a little bit differently. If you guys have ever seen Jodie, she recently made her announcement for her Vampathon. It's a readathon that they're doing the last week of October. Now, I cannot read. I can read barely a book in about a week. So, I am taking her Vampathon and extending it across all of October. Okay? So, I will place Jodie down below if you want to take a look at her and her Vampathon. I will also post the reading prompts up here in the corner, so that way you can see what reading prompts I'm going after. And so I'm just gonna kind of get books on my list, and then we'll see what we complete of them, just because I think I read an average of like 7 books a month, so we'll see. Now, we're gonna start with my current reads. I am currently reading A Court of Silver Flames. I'm reading this audioly, and I'm not going to get too much into it just because it is like late in the series. And so the prompt that I will be putting Court of Silver Flames under is going to be a book with a haunted library. If you know, you know. I may be stretching this a little bit, but you know what? We're going to go with it. It's a haunty feel. If you know, you know. And so I'm not going to get into it only because, again, it's book number 5. I'm not going to talk about the book. If you know, you know. Let's move on. My next current read is I just started Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I am at chapter 12, page 80. I just started this yesterday. And I really should be holding the books over here because I'm going to put the prompts here. I'm going to be reading Two Twisted Crowns for a gothic or spooky cover. Because, like, look at that. It's spooky. So, I mean, I guess this could be for either a spooky cover or a gothic setting because of all, like, the castles and stuff. Castle U, Castle Rowan. It kind of has both. So it could go for either, but I'm going to set it as spooky cover. If I need to change it later, I will. So, there is that. And then, let's see. So, I have a book that can kind of be used for either. I just recently got off of Audible. I got Mistress of Lies. Who's that by? Let me get up my Goodreads. So, for the prompt of... Now, this book can, like I said, it can either be for a book with a vampire main character or blood used as magic, because they kind of do both. And that is Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enwright. K.M. Enwright. I just recently got this book on Audible, so I'm excited to listen to it. And what's funny is that I'm not a big vampire fan, but I'm just like slowly like exposing myself to vampires in different ways in regards to reading and stuff. So that's very exciting. That I recently accumulated this book, so I'm excited to put it on my TBR. So, if you are not familiar with Mistress of Lies, the synopsis reads, Fate is a cruel mistress. The daughter of a powerful but disgraced blood worker, Sean Leclerc has spent her entire life perfecting her blood magic, building her network of spies, and gathering every scrap of power she could. Now, to protect her brother, she assassinates their father and takes her place at the head of the family. And that is only the start of her revenge. Samuel Hutchinson is a bastard with a terrible gift. When he stumbles upon the first victim of a magical serial killer, he's drawn to the world of magic and intrigue. He's worked so hard to avoid, and is pulled deeply into the ravenous and bloodthirsty court of the Vampire King. tasked by the Eternal King to discover the identity of the killer. Cutting a bloody swath through the city, Samuel, Sean, and mysterious royal blood worker Isaac find themselves growing ever closer to each other. But Sean's plans are treacherous, and she lures Samuel into her compiled web of desire, treason, and vengeance. He must decide if the good of their nation is worth the cost of their soul. It's the first book in a series. I guess the series overall is called The Age of Blood. It's the first book. It's a debut novel. So, of course, we won't get the second one for a little bit. This one was just recently released back in August, I believe. Yeah. So, after reading that synopsis, because I think I read it off of like good Amazon or something, or Audible, but I think we're just going to do this with a vampire main character and leave it at that. So, that is The Mistress of Lies by Kim Enwright. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so next is a book with witches. And I've got a stack of books here on my side that I'm picking from, of books that I feel like match the prompts in some way. I kind of have already looked through my bookcases, at least for my physical books. We're still going to have to do a little bit of hunting if I want to read a Kindle book for these. But I've got a lot of physical books down here that I feel like fit the prompts in one way or another. So up next, we are going to do a book with witches, and we are going to do Kingdom of the Wicked. Now, the book looks different than the typical. I will put the main cover down here. This I have is a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. If you haven't seen my short over the last month, I think it was like the most recent short I did. I recently obtained the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions of the Kingdom of the Wicked series in paperback. These recently released, and I find them absolutely gorgeous. It's a different colorway. And then they also coordinated the spines. So like, it's so cute. It's not even cute. It's really cool. I really like it. And so I've always wanted to read this series, and I'm excited to finally do so. Like, I've heard nothing but good things. It's right up my alley of types of books that I like to read. So we're gonna do it. So the Kingdom of the Wicked is the first book. I'm a little late to the Kingdom of the Wicked game, but you know what? Better late than never. So I'm excited to read this. We're doing this for a book with witches. And so because it's the first book, I will read you the synopsis. So the little thing up top reads, 2 sisters, 1 brutal murder, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself, and an intoxicating romance. So the actual synopsis reads, Amelia and her twin sister Victoria are streak? I don't exactly know how to pronounce this word, but we're going to go with it. So Amelia and her twin sister Victoria are streak, witches who live secretly among humans, avoiding notice and persecution. One night, Victoria misses dinner service at her family's renowned restaurant in Sicily. Amelia soon finds the body of her beloved twin, desecrated beyond belief. Devastated, Amelia sets out to find her sister's killer and to seek vengeance at any cost, even if it means using dark magic that's been long forbidden. Then Amelia meets Wraith, one of the wicked who are princes of hell she has been warned against in tales since she was a child. Wrath claims to be on Amelia's side, tasked by his master with solving a series of women's murders on the island. But when it comes to the wicked, nothing is as it seems. That sounds incredible. I'm so excited for this, guys. Okay, so that is Kingdom of the Wicked for our prompt of a book with witches. All right, my next pick, I'm kind of just going down from my stack here. And we'll go from there. So up next is, I don't know if this is stretching it too far, but we're going to do it anyway. So one of the prompts here is a paranormal romance. And so I will pick up, for that prompt, The God and the Gumiho by Sophie Kim. Now, The God and the Gumiho, like I said, this may be a stretch, but bear with me. So The only reason I say this is because he is a god. She is what's called the Scarlet Fox. So the synopsis on the back reads, Kim Ha-nee has retired from a life of devouring souls. She is, simply put, too full. Once known as the infamous Scarlet Fox, she now spends her days working incognito in a coffee shop and annoying a particularly irritating, if unfairly handsome, trickster god as often as she can. That god is Seoga the Fallen. Exiled from the heavenly kingdom of Okwang, he now begrudgingly resides in the mortal realm, working towards his redemption and suffering through his interactions with a particularly infuriating, if sneaky, charming Gumiho barista at his favorite cafe. But when a powerful demon escapes from the underworld and threatens to end all of humanity, Okwang's emperor offers Seoka an enticing bargain. Kill this rogue creature as well as the legendary and elusive Scarlet Fox, and he will be reinstated as a god. Ha-nee, however, has no intention of being caught. Seoga might be a trickster god, but she has a trick of her own that he'll never see coming. Teaming up. As Seoga's assistant, Ha-nee will undermine and sabotage his investigation right under his overly pointy nose. Sure, she'll help him kill the demon, but she certainly won't allow him to uncover her secret identity while they're at it. As the bickering partners track their case down a path of mayhem and violence, the god and the Gumiho find themselves inescapably drawn to each other. But will the unlikely couple stand together to prevent the apocalypse, or will they let their secrets tear them and their world apart? That sounds so stinking cute. I'm so excited for this. That's so cute. So, that is the God and the Gumiho. We will be reading it for a paranormal romance. Okay, so up next is, we're going to do the prompt. Where is it? I have my iPad over on the side of my phone, so that way I can see the prompts while I'm doing them. So for Dark Academia setting is the one we're going to do next. And we are going to do If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This, I've been dying to read this book. This is another book that I've had my eye on for a little while. I found this one with a few others over at Bright Light Books. So I got it for cheap. I got it used. I love the books there. They were in very good condition. And it's thrifting. So, love that. So if We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, the characters are all within a school, and so it's got a very interesting synopsis. I find this so interesting. Enter the players. There were 7 of us then, 7 bright young things with wide, precious futures ahead of us. Until that year, we saw no farther than the books in front of our faces. On the day Oliver Marks is released from jail, the man who put him there is waiting at the door. Detective Colborne wants to know the truth, and after 10 years, Oliver is finally ready to tell it. A decade ago, Oliver is one of 7 young Shakespearean actors at Delacour Classical Conservatory, our academic setting. A place of keen ambition and fierce competition. In this secluded world of firelight and featherbound books, Oliver and his friends play the same roles on stage and off. Hero, villain, tyrant, temptress, ingenue, extra. But in their 4th and final year, good-natured rivalries turn ugly, and on opening night, real violence invades the students' world of make-believe. In the morning, the 4th years find themselves facing their very own tragedy, and the greatest acting challenge yet, convincing the police, each other, and themselves that they are innocent. Eee! That's super exciting. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. It's so enticing. It's so enticing. Like, reading these synopses make me want to pick them up like now, but I have to read them one at a time. I can't read too many books at once. I literally cannot read like all of these at once. So there are some of these books that I can read. Like, I don't have to be like spooky related, because there are things like a book to sink your teeth into, read a book in the dark. So those are the ones that I already had deigned for a prompt. I have 2 other books sitting here that I would like to get to if I can. I'm trying to think, because I don't read manga. I don't read manga. I don't do graphic novels. The only vampire book to movie that I'm aware of is Twilight. I have never read Twilight. I've never watched the movies. In all honesty, I don't really think I want to. I'll kind of put Twilight on the back burner if I decide I want to go there. But right now, I don't want to go there. There is a middle grade that my boyfriend recommended to me that I'm curious. I think this is the first book in the series. Yeah. So this will do well for a spooky middle grade. My boyfriend recommended this to me. He loved it when he was in middle school, and he actually has the series on his shelf. And he's been recommending it to me for a little bit now. And so I actually do have a spooky middle grade that I can read, which is really fun. And that is The Kingdom Keepers by Ridley Pearson. There's 3 books in the series, or at least if there's more than 3 books, I don't know, but we have 3 books of the series. We're going to take a pause. I'm going to find it on Goodreads, and I will give you a full synopsis on it, just because the back of the book doesn't give much. So pause. Okay, according to Goodreads, there's actually 4 books in the series. Like I said, we have 3. I think we have 3 of them. Maybe I'll have to try to find the 4th one. But anyway, so according to Goodreads, Kingdom Keepers synopsis reads, in this fantastical novel, Disney's Magic Kingdom suddenly becomes a bit eerie. Finn Whitman and 4 other teens have been hired as Disney World guides, but with an odd twist. With cutting-edge technology, they have been transformed into hologram projections capable of leading guests around the park. What begins as an exciting theme park job turns into a virtual nightmare as Finn and his pals attempt to thwart an uprising by a menacing group of Disney villains. Nice, simple. I'm a huge Disney fan, if you did not know. And it's a middle grade. All this stuff is pretty easy to read. I realized I only own 1 middle grade. The only middle grade that I own is Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw, which I read last year. I believe I read it last year, which it was cute. And so I'm actually kind of excited to read that. And so we'll be adding that to the stack. That's so exciting. Ooh, I wasn't actually sure if I was going to be able to get to that series like ever, but I'm so excited to be able to do so. And so I think for the rest, because I don't have a book with bats or blood on the cover, I don't read horror. I don't have any horror books. I don't have any thriller or mysteries. So the only other 2 books on my docket that I have, and it's kind of like, I think I'll get to these later if I can manage, because now my stack is pretty big. Actually, let me see if I have any Kindle books that could work. I don't think so, and that's okay. All right, so I just have 2 more books that I can either use for read a book in the dark, or a book to sink my teeth into, or just whatever. And that is if I get to these, we have Legends and Latte by Travis Baldree and Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I really want to get to Phantasma if I can. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and it's right up my alley. It's a dark romance, and it's very similar. They compare it to Caraval and like one other book. It's like if you're fans of Caraval and Throne of the Fallen. And if you don't know what Throne of the Fallen is, Throne of the Fallen is an extension series from Kingdom of the Wicked, if you are not familiar. So pretty much if you're fans of Caraval, Kingdom of the Wicked, Throne of the Fallen, you're gonna love Phantasma. Right up my alley. I loved Caraval. I'm starting with Kingdom of the Wicked. Phantasma states, Phantasma only has 2 rules: stay alive and don't fall in love. When Ophelia discovers her mother brutally murdered, there is no time to grieve. She has inherited the family's fearsome magic and enormous debt. Circumstances go from dire to deadly, however, when Ophelia's sister decides to pay off the loan by entering Phantasma, a competition where contestants rarely escape alive, and the victor is granted a single wish. The only way for Ophelia to save her sister is to win, but Phantasma is a cursed manor full of twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms, staffed by enticing demons and fatal temptations, and Ophelia must conquer all 9 floors to succeed, if her fears don't overtake her first. When a charming, arrogant stranger claims he can help, Ophelia knows better than to trust him. But with her sister's life on the line, Ophelia can't afford to turn him away. She'll just need to ignore the overwhelming dark attraction, drawing them closer and closer together. Because in Phantasma, the only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. So this is one that I feel like I can just sink my teeth into. No, you know, it's like I feel like I can get into the book and like stay in the book. So that sounds very, very good. And the other one, if I have time to get there, is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I did read Bookshops and Bone Dust a number of months ago and absolutely loved it. It's a nice, cozy fantasy read. And so this is technically book 1. Bookshops and Bone Dust is a prequel, but because by the time that I got hold of the books, both books were already released. So I just read Bookshops and Bone Dust first, and it was really, really cute. So this one, the synopsis on this one reads, after a lifetime of bounties and bloodshed, Viv is hanging up her sword for the last time. The battle-weary orc aims to start fresh, opening the first ever coffee shop in the city of Thune. But rivals old and new stand in the way of success, not to mention the fact that no one has the faintest idea what coffee actually is. If Viv wants to put the blade behind her and make her plans a reality, she won't be able to go it alone. But the true rewards of the uncharted path are the travelers you meet along the way. And whether drawn together by ancient magic, a flaky pastry, or a freshly brewed cup, they may become partners, family, and sometimes deeper than she ever could have dreamed. That's so cute. So she pairs together with the succubus. I don't know her name yet. To lead the coffee shop, and it just seems very, very cute. I loved Viv in Bookshops and Bone Dust, and I'm so excited to see for Legends and Lattes. Because also I am a coffee fan, if you did not know. And I also love the idea of a cozy mystery because it's just something different. Because a lot of fantasy is such marked as such adventurous, thrill-seeking, on the edge of your seat kind of fantasy. So it's very nice to this sequel or this series, Bookshops and Bone Dust and the Legends and Lattes, is my first ever cozy fantasy series, and so I really enjoyed Bookshops and Bone Dust. The only other cozy fantasy that I've read was Dreadful. I found Dreadful to be very cozy, and it was really cute. So I'm excited to hopefully get to Legends and Lattes again. If we get there, we get there. If we don't, we don't. It's not that big a deal. So let's see. I have a whopping, if we count the audiobook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books on my TBR. That's not bad. That's not bad. Now, mind you, I probably won't get to all of these. Like I said, I read typically 7 books per month while I'm working. And so half of them will probably be these. Half of them will probably be audiobooks. I may find audiobooks along the way that end up going with other prompts to keep in the theme of Vampathon. Like I said, they are doing, like, the actual Vampathon reading will run from, so if you would like to join, let me find the dates. So her Vampathon will run from Saturday, October 26th. Hey guys, sorry the last clip got cut a little short. I had something to take care of at the house, but it's just the next day. I'm coming to you to close out this TBR. Thank you so much for joining me on this TBR. And as I was saying, if you would like to participate in Vampathon, I will link both Jodie and her announcement video in the description below. And I am so excited to read this October. Please let me know what seasonal read are you most excited to read this October. And thank y'all so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.